Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Zenatan, and welcome to today's video for Legends of Runeterra. Today is another day in spoiler season for the upcoming set, A Curious Journey. It looks like we have gotten some new cards for Bandle City, and I believe maybe I think it's just only Bandle City actually. Now that I think about it, I don't think any of them are multi-region. But they're mostly just some support cards, cards hinting towards Gnar. Um, so not gonna be too long a video. Probably only got about, I'd say, maybe 4 or 5 or so cards. I'm not sure how many cards it is today. Um, and no new keyword either. I believe we're only getting 2 keywords this set, so we've gotten all our keywords anyway: attach and formidable. So yeah, just some fairly simple, basic, easy to understand cards, if you will. Doesn't mean there's nothing interesting about them though. So let's go and look at them. But yeah, probably going to be a fairly short video because there's not much to evaluate today. So, who do we have up first? Teeny Dactyl. Okay. Also, lots of transformation stuff. Don't know if there's that many transformation cards in the game already. I know there's Ursine Spirit Walker and Concurrent Timelines, kind of, but I think that's it. There's probably others. I don't actually know if Lonely Poro counts as a transformation when you play a different Poro and it turns into a happy Poro. It's still labeled as Lonely Poro. I'm not sure if that's actually a transformation. That actually might be important to know. But yeah, I'm not sure there's too many transformation cards in the game at the moment, but there might be some that I can't think of. And it might be important because there is some transformation synergy here today. But to start off with, Teeny Dactyl, 4 mana, 4/3, round, and if you've damaged the enemy Nexus this round, transform me into Pterodactyl. All right. So lots of this whole round end, if you've damaged the enemy Nexus, transform kind of synergy that we saw with Udyr. Teeny Dactyl transforms into Pterodactyl, which is a 4 mana 6/5 with impact. And at the start of the round, deal 1 to the enemy Nexus. So it's a city breaker that on steroids. If I remember correctly, City Breaker is also a 4-drop. It's a 4 mana 1/5 that says round start, deal 1 to the enemy Nexus. So yeah, this thing just makes City Breaker look bad. And honestly, I don't think City Breaker is a bad card. Like, I think City Breaker is a borderline playable card in, say, Swain decks, maybe with Sejuani. Still, though, like, here's the biggest issue. Starting off as a 4/3, the Teeny Dactyl. Here's the problem I'm seeing with this whole like round and if you've damaged the enemy Nexus strategy, these cards, this archetype. A lot of these cards on their front end are just so understated. So it's going to be hard to get that chip damage, and you're going to need to be playing, I think, pings. So you'll have like Pokey Sticks, maybe Crack Shot Corsairs, and Warning Shots, but you're going to need ways to get in damage that are not just having your units hit the Nexus. Maybe impact as well will help too, but I think you're going to need a little bit extra. Gnar could help out a lot here. Like with a lot of these newer archetypes, the champion might bring it all together, as we've seen with things like Ari and Kennen. When we first saw recall stuff, we were like, okay, the recall stuff's interesting, but doesn't look that good. But maybe Ari Kennen will bring it all together, and lo and behold, Ari Kennen is crazy good. But yeah, so Teeny Dactyl, as a 4-drop, a 4/3 is fine. I kind of wish it was like the stat line was swapped. I think I'd be so much higher up on this thing if it was a 3/4. But I understand why it's a 4/3 to make it easier to kill before it transforms. So yeah, like, and a 4th mana 4/3 is not the worst. 3 mana 4/3s are about what you're expecting to play or pay for 4/3 3 mana. So for 1 extra mana, you're basically getting the potential to transform it into a Pterodactyl. And Pterodactyl is really good. 4 mana 6/5 is already overstated. Impact is pretty good too. And then the whole round start, ping the enemy Nexus. So yeah, and I think it's pretty good. I think it can really help out just filling out the curve in some decks like Plunder List, maybe some kind of like weird aggro deck like Ping City, the old Gangplank. I want to say it was Gangplank TF, Bilgewater Bandle City decks. They kind of just disappeared because of a lot of nerfs to that deck. but maybe a deck similar to that can come back. So maybe, yeah, maybe that can come back. That deck played a lot of just, well, pings in the form of spells and impact. So maybe we'll see something like that come back with this, with cards like this that are just pinging every single round, impact, etc., etc. Next card up, Spotted Toad. 5 mana, 4/5. I like this card, by the way. 5 mana, 4/5, round end. If you've damaged the enemy nexus, transform into Giga Gromp. What is Giga Gromp? Well, Giga Gromp is a 5 mana 6/7 that has impact. When I transform, deal 1 to all enemies. So it's a one-sided ice shard. That's pretty good. I think it's really good. It's already like got an okay stat line, fairly high health as a 5-drop before it transforms. It's a 4/5 before it transforms. 4/5 for 5 is not that great, but it's somewhat playable. Trundle was a 4/5, I believe, before he got buffed again. He was started as a 4/6, became a 4/5, and he's back to a 4/6 at the moment. So 4/5 for 5 is fine as a stat line. Like, I would play 5 mana 4/5s if they had good upside, and this is okay upside. It's not the kind of card that's its upside is so good you can just put it as a 3 of in a lot of decks. I think you're gonna have to care about the pings. I'll say this though, when I first saw this card, I was like, wow, what a combo. Turn 4 Blighted Ravine. The Ravine breaks, counts down, whatever, and pops off, and you hit everything and you ping the enemy nexus. And then you can play the Spotted Toad, and since the Blighted Ravine technically popped at the start of the round, that is the same turn that it dealt 2 damage to enemy nexus, so that would count for the damage that needs to be done to the enemy nexus. So your Spotted Toad could transform into Giga Gromp, which is that kind of is a 2-turn, 2-card combo to deal 3 to your opponent's stuff, which is not a great combo, but it is cute. And will you play Blighted Ravine in these kind of decks? Probably not, in all honesty. But I could see it in more of a slower kind of deck. I don't know, though. Like, it is a big body. Like, 6/7 is really big. Sure, it can get chumped. It does have impact, so that does negate the downside of it getting chumped over and over. But I don't know. I like it. One-sided Ice Shard is very powerful. Ice Shard is a decent card already. Plus, it does keep the pings rolling. So you play Giga Gromp, or you play the Spotted Toad, it turns into Giga Gromp. And when it transforms, it deals 1 to all enemies. I assume with the way it's worded, that includes the Nexus, so then you can play more things that will transform at the end of the round if the Nexus was damaged and Giga Gromp damaged the Nexus, so you can transform more things. Seems good. Now then, next card, what do we have here? Bitsy Lizard. 2 mana 1/2. This one is such a simple card, I feel. I don't know about this one. I think it's the least impressive of the cards, but I still think it might see play. 2 mana 1/2. Round end, if you've damaged the enemy nexus this round, transform me into Lava Lizard. Okay, what's a Lava Lizard? It's a 2 mana 3/4. That's it. I don't know. Like, looking at Giga Gromp and Pterodactyl, they both have impact. It feels like Lava Lizard probably had impact at some point too. Like, maybe all 3 of these transform cards had impact, and maybe they thought Lava Lizard was too good with impact, but I'm just not a fan of this card. Because let's assume you get this out as fast as possible. Let's assume you get this guy out on turn 2. So you play the Bitsy Lizard on turn 2, and you transform it. That would mean it transforms at the start of the next turn, turn 3. So you have a 3/4 on 3. That's not that great, in all honesty. I guess it's like you're getting a 3/4, which is normally a 3-drop worth of stats for 2 mana, but you have to transform. And since it doesn't even have impact, it doesn't really help keep the transformations rolling. I don't know. I'm not too impressed by this card. I feel like if I'm playing, I don't know, let's say Bilgewater, I'd rather play Marai Warden or something. So I'm not a big fan of this. If I'm not in Bilgewater and I'm just Bandle City with something else, Stone Stackers? I feel like Stone Stackers would be a little bit better than just Bitsy Lizard. Stone Stackers has a decent stat line. Impact lets you get more chip damage in, which activates your other transformations. So I don't know. I feel like I'd rather just play Stone Stackers or Mirai Warden. Now, I could be underestimating this. I could see this like I definitely could be seeing this in some decks, like some kind of weird aggro decks. You play like maybe you play like 2 Bitsy Lizards and then you open attack, so that's like a decent amount of damage. But it's, I don't know. It's just it doesn't seem like it's bringing enough to the table for me to actually like this card in any deck. So yeah, like Plunder sets it up nicely, and other ping decks set it up nicely. But again, I'd rather just play Mirai Warden or even Stone Stackers. So yeah, not a big not impressed by it. Maybe with more transformation synergy, sure. If you want to play like a lot of transformation cards, then I can see this card being played. Speaking of transformation synergy, here we go. Chief Nakotok. I think that's how you pronounce her name. Chief Nakotok. Yordle. So, you know, Yordle synergy right there. You can all that means you can probably get it off of Vandal City Portal or whatever that 3-mana thing that summons Yordles is. When an ally transforms, fully heal it and grant it +1/+1. Also, it's a 3/3. So 3/3 for 3, pretty solid. When an ally transforms, fully heal it and grant it +1/+1. Does this mean, like the way it's worded, does that mean when these cards transform, they're still going to be damaged? Like, let's use Bitsy Lizard. When it transforms, it's getting +2/+2 basically. So if it gets pinged and it's a 1/1, will it mean the Lava Lizard is a 3/3? Just damaged? If so, that's actually important to know, and Chief Nakotok might be useful. But yeah, I think Chief Nakotok is a good card. It's kind of hard to evaluate these cards, though, without Gnar. Gnar is just very, very important, I feel, to this archetype. Sure, we got Udyr as well. Udyr also goes along with some of these cards. But yeah, I'm not sure. Like, Udyr would mean... If you're playing Udyr Gnar, that means you're a Freljord Vandal City deck, which... It could be good. I really feel like it's going to just all come down to Gnar. Like, we were doing this last set too, last season, last spoiler season, where we're like, oh man, these recall cards could be good, but are the champions going to bring it all together? And that's what I'm looking at right now with these transformation cards in Gnar. Like, will Gnar basically bring it all together? Who knows? But yeah, like, Chief Nakotok, it's a strong effect. Like, giving +1/+1 to units is pretty good. We saw Yordle Explorer did that, but unlike Yordle Explorer, Chief Nakotok's not hitting a lot of as many things as the Yordle Explorer. Yordle Explorer would just hit things easily. It came down early, and it's like, oh yeah, sure. Oh, like a good majority of the cards in the deck were Yordles, so yeah, maybe there's gonna be a lot of transformation cards. We're gonna get more cards too tomorrow besides just Gnar, so who knows? And I guess like you could say Pterodactyl becomes a 7/6, and if you do get Chief Nakotok and then a turn 5 Teeny Dactyl into Pterodactyl, that's a 7/6 on 5 with impact. Sure, it can get chumped, but it's still pretty big. Like, that's a what? An Alpha Wildclaw worth of stats on turn 5? That's pretty big. I don't know though. So also, I guess it is really nice with... Well, no, Udyr doesn't transform. I had to think for a second. I was like, Udyr is not a transform card. Udyr's followers transform, but Udyr doesn't transform. Unless they count leveling up. Like, if they count leveling up as a transformation, then Udyr transforms, but so does every champ. But I don't think leveling up from level 1 to level 2 will count as a transformation. But yeah, I don't know. Like, maybe it's good enough. And then if Gnar is small, having this buff Gnar will be nice too, depending. And then just, I don't know. There's a lot here, and it's nice for like the Mammoth and Merkwolf Shamans, Ragers, whatever. So yeah, I think basically it comes down to like Chief Nakotok is going to be good if Gnar is good, and more importantly, if transformation decks are good. If those aren't good, if Gnar and transformation decks are not good, then Chief Nakotok is trash. I mean, and of course you can be like, oh, what about the concurrent timelines? Sure, if you want to play around and meme a bit, concurrent timelines, Chief Nakotalk is cute. So yeah, like I said, not a long video, but we got what? 4 cards, I think, today. We got Chief Nakotalk, the Lizard, the Frog, and the Pterodactyl. So yeah, 4 new cards today. So not much to talk about today. Nothing really crazy complex or anything, but it's just setting. It feels like it's just setting up for tomorrow, which will be Gnar and more transform stuff. The really, really showy, flashy kind of stuff, which is getting me hyped for tomorrow. Like seeing all this cool transform stuff is getting me hyped for Gnar and stuff. So I can't wait to see them. And yeah, Pterodactyl is scary. This frog is interesting. Lizard I'm not so impressed by, and Chief Nakotalk has a lot of potential. That's basically the short of it. And yeah, that's going to be it for today's video. I'd love to hear your opinions on these cards. Maybe I'm missing something here. Maybe you think there's some cards that would go and synergize well with these cards that I didn't mention that are already in the game. If you guys just enjoyed the video in general, I'd love it if you could leave a like or a comment down below. Always helps out the channel. Also, if you want to keep up with the Legends of Runeterra content, you can always go and subscribe to the channel as well. Also, if you want to watch me play some Legends of Runeterra, you can go and check me out over on Twitch at twitch.tv/Zeniton, where I stream pretty much every single day. Anyway, though, with that all said and done, thank you all once more for watching this video, and until I see you guys in the next one, bye.